everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Donna's Happy Hour, and today I have Ed Seifert, Gary Hagan, and Bernie Stapleton with me. They have a band. It's called Ed Seifert and the Stimulus Package. Ed has been writing since he was 17 years old. I know you're really going to enjoy his music. Gary has been on my show before, and Bernie, this is his first time on my show. We also have Connie and Kathy, who are backup singers, joining Ed and the group. So grab your drinks, whatever they may be, because I'm hoping you'll spend the next hour with me.
We're Ed Seifert and the Stimulus Package. This is Kathy and Connie and Bernie behind me, and Gary Hagan on my right, your left. This is Another Shade of Blue. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sorry for my sorrow, I'm not sorry for my pain. 'Cause you could ring me up tomorrow and tear me down again. And I know what you would do. You turn me another shade blue. I'm so sorry that I scared you. I'm so sorry that you ran. I wish someone had prepared you for what we now understand. Sometimes the words that hurt are the words that are true, and they could turn you another shade of blue. I don't know why I shed these tears, or why the caged bird sings. I only know that if you were here, I'd tell you everything. All right, Gary. Don't be sorry for the time we had. Don't be sorry it went wrong. It's the living of the life so sad that helps us to be strong. And if you ever have a change of heart, as people often do, come back and turn me another shade blue. Said if you ever have a change of heart, it's all up to you. Come back and turn me another shade. Turn me another shade. Turn me another shade of blue. This one's called Are You Still Mine? Set? 1, 2, 3, and before you tell me that it's time to go, there is something that I need to know. Is there someone else who loves you so? Well, are you still mine? Before you say goodnight and go to bed, is there something that you wish you'd said? Would you rather someone else instead? Are you still mine?
Are you still mine?
Were you with somebody else last night? Am I out of mind when out of sight? Tell me, darling, 'cause it's only right. Are you only mine? Is it make-believe or is it true? Is there nothing more that I can do? Are you still in love or are we through? Are you still mine? I can't allow. It doesn't matter why or matter how. They're the only thing that matters now. Are you still mine? The only thing that matters now. Are you still mine? This next one's called Bonfire of Your Love. Second, make sure I'm good here. Doing okay there, Gar? If that's a yes. One, two, three. Well, I've never been to heaven, and I don't expect I will. Sure as 7 come 11, I come rolling down that hill, where I won't need a sweater, Lord, and I won't need no gloves. I'll be burning in the bonfire of our love. And I never had a lover who would lead me so astray. I know one day I'll regret this all, but that day ain't today. When it's time for 2 confessions, 2 questions from above, I'll be burning in the bonfire of our love. And our love, I go down, down, down. In our love, you could hear the sound of the crackling of the embers as the smoke skyward bound. In the fire of our love, I go down. And I never can remember what my life was like before. You seduced me last September when we rolled that liquor store. Christened with Cavassier, now I'm your turtle dove, and we're burning in the bonfire of our love time. And I never will forget when I was innocent and green, how you set my soul on fire with your kiss of kerosene. Now you're throwing back cocktails, everyone's a Molotov, and we're burning in the bonfire of our love. In our love, I go down, down, down. In our love, you could hear the sound of the crackling of the embers as the smoke goes skyward bound. In the fire of our love, I go down. In the fire of our love, I go down. In the fire of our love, I go down, 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 down.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce Ed Seifert, Gary Hagan, and Bernie Stapleton. And they have a band, and it is called the Ed Seifert Stimulus Package. And I have to tell you, you are really going to enjoy their music. I've had Gary on with his wife, Loretta, and I love their music. And so I knew I was going to really enjoy, your music. And I actually went to school with Ed. And Ed, so tell me what you've been doing actually, I haven't seen you in years. So obviously music and writing, and
Right.
I will tell them also, all of the songs that you're going to hear are original music, and were they written only by you, Ed, or?
Yes.
Wow.
I've got a couple that I've co-written with some friends, but the ones we do tonight are all original.
Well, I have to tell you, every single song that you played, I really liked. So your writing is really very nice. And the same with Gary and Loretta. I loved her songs. And do you have a CD out or anything?
No, I played a couple of different acts and have over the years. In fact, I played with somebody from Brooklyn 20 years ago, and we had a duo called the Ambivalent Brothers, and our CD was called Unhappy Hour.
Oh, that's hysterical.
That would have been a good compliment.
That would have been,
Yes, to your show.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I'm in a band currently called the Campfire Flies. We put out a CD earlier this year, and that's got 3 of my songs on it, including one of the ones we did tonight.
Okay. And you're also in a band called Young Woo?
Young Woo.
Okay. And then there was...
Speed the Plow. I know, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. You know, and what was it? Something the Plow? What is it?
Speed the Plow.
Speed the Plow.
Right.
Okay. And now, how did you connect with all of these other people from these other bands?
A couple of different ways. Both Speed the Plow and Young Woo have people who were either members of the Feelies or friends of the Feelies.
Okay.
You know, a long-time famous New Jersey band. And I met the bass player from the Feelies, I guess, around 1984 or so.
Okay.
And I started going to all their shows because they're just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And just became friends with them. And Young Woo is essentially 4 of the members of the Feelies, plus myself, plus a keyboard player. There's one member of the Feelies who lives in Florida, and he doesn't come up for the Young Woo gigs anymore. So I essentially took his place.
Okay.
And then Speed the Plow, although none of the members of the Feelies are in Speed the Plow, at least not now, as, you know, relations, I forget how it goes. There's a husband and wife in Speed the Plow, and, and the husband's sister is married to the drummer in the Feelies. It's all very complicated.
So now let me ask you, where is it like everybody located? Are they located in New Jersey or?
Just about all in New Jersey, yeah.
Okay.
That whole group kind of centers around the Haledon area.
Okay.
Of course, with Bernie and Gary there in West Milford.
West Milford, right.
I'm in New Milford, and a lot of the people from the Campfire Flyers are down in Millburn or Maplewood, so I'm kind of in the middle of all this, but nothing's right near me. I'm always going at least a half hour for rehearsal.
That's what I'm like. I'm not really, you know, even though PA is close to New Jersey and close to New York, it's still kind of, you know, a trip for me.
Right.
So.
And our regular drummer lives in Cornwall, New York. And his joke is he's an hour from everywhere, no matter where we are.
Right, yes.
He's got a ride.
Oh my goodness.
So this is called Leave Your Ring.
Upon the table, Marie, just walk out the door. You were unfaithful and I was unwise. I was unable to see past your lies. Now I know what bitter tears are for. Leave your ring upon the table, Marie. Just remember just what I've been living for. Leave your ring upon the table, Marie. Just walk out the door. Leave your ring upon the table, Marie. Just walk out the door. Leave your ring upon the table, Marie. Just walk out the door. It's called I'm Not Changing My Mind. I always say this is about being too stupid and stubborn and obstinate for your own good, so it's a work of complete fiction. 1, 2, 3. To midnight, I tend to cry, my tender one, to say goodbye. 10 to 7, I greet the sun. I'm not fooling anyone. I'm not changing my mind, no, not anymore. I'm not changing my mind. You could lock the door. I'm not changing my mind, no, not anymore. I'm not changing my mind. Ask my father to shine his light. Oh, he said he's brave at night. Brother knows what it's all about. Can't live with it, can't live without. I'm not changing my mind, no, not anymore. I'm not changing my mind. You could lock the door. I'm not changing my mind, no, not anymore. I'm not changing my mind. You're the sister I never had. Said I'm the good, you're the bad. You're the mother I live without. You're the shadow, I'm the dark. Changing my mind, no, not anymore. I'm not changing my mind. Get up off the floor. I'm not changing my mind, no, not anymore. I'm not changing my mind. I'm not changing your mind. I'm not changing my mind. I'm not changing your mind. I'm not changing my mind. I'm not changing your mind. I'm not changing my mind. I'm not changing your mind. I'm not changing my mind.
So, tell me, when did you start playing an instrument? How old were you when you started playing an instrument?
I was 17.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I lived in the apartment complex in New Milford.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
you remember.
Yes.
And there was somebody who lived in the same courtyard, and he had a guitar that he was selling because a friend of his had moved to California
Okay.
and left the guitar behind.
Oh, no
So,
kidding.
yeah.
Oh, wow. And that's how you started.
Right, right.
How about you, Gary? Remind me, because I know I did ask you that.
Yeah, years ago. Of course, it's years ago. I started. I took lessons from a guy down the block from me.
Okay.
And I learned real quick because I loved playing.
Right.
then I started, and then he wanted me to play trombone because I learned so fast on the guitar,
Oh, what?
but I couldn't understand the bass clef because it was the same note in the bass clef is different in the treble clef, in the
Okay.
treble. And I just couldn't do it.
Couldn't
So
do
I
it.
stayed with the guitar, and then I just learned the Allman Brothers live album, back to forward, all
Oh,
the leads,
wow. Oh.
learned all kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's how
Oh, that's
yeah.
funny. How about you, Bernie? When did you start?
I started playing guitar when I was 12.
Wow. Okay, so you
Took lessons and took different music lessons in schools. And
right.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, you know, I took up the cajon because I always wanted to play an instrument, but you know, of course, I didn't want to do guitar because I didn't want to get the calluses. But drums for me, because I had always danced all my life. So doing the rhythm, you know, and just so the cajon was the perfect instrument for me. Yeah, yeah. So I, you know, and it's funny, as you guys were playing, I said, I think what I'm going to start doing is every time I have a band come on, I want to play at least, you know, my cajon with them.
Uh-huh.
You know, they don't have to put a microphone on me, but at least, you know, I get to play. So, but I really enjoy it. And the cajon for me, because I always tap danced, was like taking my feet and just putting them to my hands.
Right.
You know, so it just really was natural, and I really enjoy doing it.
Nice.
So, tell me about some of the gigs. Now, you have a gig tomorrow in Sugarloaf,
Right.
New York,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if people are familiar, but Sugarloaf was a really happening town when I first moved up to Florida, New York. And is it making a comeback? Because I know for a while there it was kind of just like all the small towns were really hurting with the economy.
See, I've only been there over the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And I heard, you know, like there was a heyday and
There was a very big heyday.
you guys would probably know better. But it seems to be still a little bit more
It's,
vital because they've got that Milkweed venue, which we played a couple of times. So.
Okay.
it's making a bit of a comeback, but it's hard to compete with so many different malls and everything. I mean, here it's just an experience to walk the main street.
Right.
That's
I like it.
what Sugarloaf is about.
And they had the Lyceum, right? The Lyceum
Yes.
Theater.
Right.
Is that still open? No,
I thought
they had good shows.
Yes,
That's where
they
we're going
did,
to be
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's not the Lyceum.
No,
it's not the theater. It's
outdoors.
outhouse.
Yeah.
The building is still there.
The building is there.
Yeah, there was a time where you could, Sugarloaf, let me maybe give you a great idea. The way Warwick, New York is now was the way Sugarloaf was. Every store had somebody doing, whether it be homemade, you know, leather goods,
Yes.
or pottery, or there was an artist in every
Yeah, it was
store.
interesting,
It was really fantastic.
They still have, I mean, the photographer's been there for 30 years, the
Yes.
candle maker, the, you know, leather goods, it's an artisan's village.
Right,
It really
and you know, so I'm glad to hear that, you know, there, because I know for a while there it was, and as I said, it's not just that town. A lot of,
Yes.
as a matter of fact, Hawley, Honesdale, they used to be the same way. You'd go into those towns and every store was filled, and you know, it was just really a great way to spend a weekend. Trying the restaurants, you know, the nightlife, everything was really booming. And then when the economy took a little bit of a dive, so did everything else. But yes, so they're playing tomorrow. What time is that?
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's great. And I think the weather's supposed to be good.
Yes.
Like it.
So that'll be fantastic. And that's because it's a holiday tomorrow, right? Oh, that's perfect. Oh, wow. So how many bands are playing tomorrow?
I know there's at least 3 acts each day.
Oh, okay.
It might be 4, but we're playing for 2 full hours, so it's
wow.
It can't be more than 4, you know, it's either 3 or 4.
Right,
you know,
right,
there's
right.
just somebody before us and somebody after us.
After you, okay. And I know that Whiskey Cross
After
They're
us.
the ones who are after us,
and
yeah.
you know, I just told you I had Tina on my show,
Yes.
which was fantastic. And she's got, I guess, some singles coming out. And I'm
Keep
sure
busy.
she's going to be, playing those at, the gig there. What else do you have coming up?
Kind of slowing down. Usually we play so many outdoor shows
Okay.
that the winter is when we kind of work on new material more often.
Okay.
I mean, it varies, but we'll be at Noble Coffee Roasters and Campbell Hall every now and then, but we were just there, so
Okay, right,
nothing
yes.
imminent, yeah. But nothing solid yet, because like I said, a lot of it is geared toward the outdoor. But
Right. Now, what about, you calling us, what's it called,
Stanhope.
Stanhope.
Right.
Right, now I know Tina plays there quite a bit, and it sounds like I'm going to have to get out there, because it sounds like a good place.
Yeah, we haven't done any shows as a combo there.
Oh, okay.
But there's a venue that's been there for, 100 years, the Stanhope House?
Kind of like Boodles in Chester. You know,
Right,
the same
right.
kind of
Oh,
thing.
really? Okay.
Which is now the Rustic Wheelhouse, right? Yeah.
Oh, interesting, okay.
And with the Stanhope House, they have a big room where they'll get full bands, and then I forget what it's called, something lounge. I want to say Victory Lounge, but I don't think that's what it is.
Okay.
But it's a room off the side where they'll have more acoustic acts, or maybe acts that don't throw as many.
Oh, wow,
So it's like
interesting.
two venues in one.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, interesting. Because I've never been there, and I keep saying I got to get out there because Tina really talked it up too.
I mean, even if you just see the building and see all the pictures of the old blues artists on the walls,
That's
it's
what
worth
I've
the trip.
heard.
Yeah.
That they really have had some great artists
Over
come
the
through
years,
there,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. So tell me, what else? Now today they had to leave, unfortunately. The two girls, Kathy and Connie, and they sing with you quite often, right? But they also have a sister who lives in Massachusetts.
Right. And another sister from New Jersey.
And another sister from New Jersey.
And the four of them play as the Sharrow sisters.
Okay.
So it's Connie and Kathy and Linda and Carol.
Oh, wow.
Linda plays guitar and writes songs. Linda's got 3 CDs of her own out.
Oh, wow.
And Carol is just an ace violin player.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
you got to hear her. She's crazy good.
Oh, wow.
And so for years, they would play at a festival that Gary and Loretta played at in Clinton, New Jersey, called the Black Potato Festival.
Oh.
And that went on, maybe 20 years, that festival? 15 or 20?
No
And
kidding.
they said this was the last one this past year. So I don't know if that's going to go on. But that was such a beautiful setting. It was like right in front of a rock quarry.
Oh.
And back in the day, they had some really big names too.
Oh,
I think they
wow.
might have had Yvonne Helm one year.
Well,
But I think the guy who was running it moved out of town and it was too hard to run remotely.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, that's nice when you have things that carry on from year to year to year, I mean, people look forward to it.
Sure.
But I guess, every good thing comes to an end, so.
They had just played at the house concerts in West Milford, Carol Rivers House Concerts.
That's right.
And the sisters played there, and they broke all kinds of attendance records for that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
and it was so funny because I was on the bill with them,
Oh, no.
and we're trying to keep it simple. Since it was a house concert, I just played.
Nothing.
The plan was just to play by myself.
Okay.
And I was thinking, I'll go on first. A lot of the people there were going to be people I knew, so it would be fine. I'd just do 5 or 6 songs. And as we got closer to the date, they were saying, you should do a little longer, maybe sit in with us for a couple. And then like 3 days before the show, Carol, in her infinite wisdom, said, you know what, we should go on first, and then you come on, Ed, and do a couple songs while we take a break in between 2 sets.
Right.
Well, of course, they come on and they knock the crowd
No.
out.
Really?
And so, of course, the first thing I had to do was bust Carol about that, saying, well, thanks, Carol, for leaving me with this. It's like...
But it worked out real good. The flow was real nice.
Yeah, it was.
That was a nice breakup.
Well, it was a friendly crowd, too. But just,
Right.
it's like the old joke from Annie Hall, where you don't want to follow somebody
Right, exactly.
who's
That's
doing so great.
that's exactly
well, they're
right.
laughing now. What are you saying? They're going to laugh? They're laughing again.
Right.
As I was saying, we call this our Buddy Holly tribute. This is If Your Eyes Are Closed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If your eyes are closed, it doesn't matter if the lights are on. If your eyes are closed, it doesn't matter if it's dusk or dawn. is our Sun Records tribute. This is the tribute portion of the show. They're all my songs, but they wouldn't have been written. You wouldn't hear some of these other greats. This is our Sun Records one. A little Everly Brothers thrown in, I think. Make me cry. 1, 2, 3. We didn't need to print them, I guess.
No, I had to look down.
I could have called it out though. This is a song called "Make Me Cry." We're doing it in the key of E. Just these last 11 years. 1, 2, 3. I don't know when, I don't know why. I know you're gonna make me cry. Well, anyone can see that a fool out of me. I went for a fall just like a leaf from a tree. I went looking round to see just where I made my mistake. I guess I never should have took that apple from that snake. Well, anytime one gets together with a man, you know that one or the other is sure to have the upper hand. I don't know why. I know you're gonna make me cry. Now I spend all my energy just thinking of you. When the day is done, I'm just tired to move. The Bible says you're made out of a thorn in my side. For that you've gone and stolen my pride. Well, anytime one gets together with a man, I think that always a woman seems to have the upper hand. I don't know when, I don't know why. I know you're gonna make me cry. Love remains, not the sorrow, not the pain. They might tear it down again, but only love remains. Only love survives, not the loss and not the lies. Open up and dry your eyes, 'cause only love survives. I'm certain, yes, I'm sure. If it's true and if it's pure, only love endures. Only love remains, not the sorrow, not the pain. They might tear it down again, but only love remains.
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 Only love
remains.
Kind of put it into the stratosphere. That's what Connie always tells me to say. 1, 2. Oh wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Do you ever wonder what you left behind when you cut what we had intertwined? Baby, do you ever find that I'm still in the back of your mind? Feel like there's no saving grace, only silence, only space. No sense of pride, no saving face, no way out of this fight. If we ever meet again, will you smile every now and then? Thinking how it was back when, or will you be unkind? Batting lashes hypnotized, lips that told so many lies. Once they told me I was wise, am I still in the back of your mind? The tiger, tiger, burning bright eyed. I hope I calmed your appetite. Still I wonder every night, am I still in the back of your mind? And if we never meet again, will you smile every now and then? Thinking how it was back when, or will you be unkind? Or would it kill you to be kind? Do you ever wonder what you left behind when you cut what we had intertwined? Baby, do you ever find that I'm still in the back of your mind? Am I still in the back of your mind? Am I still in the back of your mind?
Well, that's like, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was just entering college, and I had seen in the trade papers, they were doing open call auditions for Grease. So I had always danced, but I had done theater a lot, so I was always doing in musicals, and I would sing, but I was never like, a main singer. I was, was in the chorus. And so I decided, well, I'm going to audition for this. This is kind of really right up my alley. So I take my little 45. I told you in the thing, how many songs you had to sing. And so there I am practicing, with my 45. And God knows I had no clue, you know, what I really needed to do and what key I sang, and forget it, I didn't know. So anyway, the line was around the corner.
Where was this? In Manhattan?
In Manhattan, yeah. And so anyway, now I'm getting close to the door where I'm actually in the theater, and I hear these people belting out these songs, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? But I said, I got nothing to lose, I'm gonna do it, you know. So sure enough, I get up on stage, and they said, okay, Donna, what songs are you gonna sing for us? And so I tell them, you know, here's my 2 or 3 songs, and they're like, okay, what key would you like? I'm like, see? I had no clue, none whatsoever. Well, I have to tell you what was really amazing. I am so lucky that anything even came out, because knowing what I heard before me and knowing that I really never sang any solos, you know. So I started singing, and I guess it was either the director or the producer, they were both there, and they stopped me and they said, Donna, we love what you do. We want you to start over and really try to project. And like I said, I'm thinking, you have no idea how lucky you are that anything came out. So I started over, and you know, I really hadn't, like I said, really never really opened my mouth before. So they stopped me again, and they're like, Donna, we love what you do, but those people back there are paying to hear you. so anyway, winds up, they say, okay, they give me a script, and they said, we want you to go downstairs and play the part of Patty. So now I'm downstairs. I was so green, you know, and I'm sitting there, and all these people are, you know, down there. So I'm thinking that they're sending everybody down there, you know, what do I know? So I look at this girl and I go, excuse me. I go, are they sending everybody down here? Well, I got daggers. I'm like, oh boy. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I got called back 3 times.
Wow.
I really was that close, you know, but, you know, unfortunately, I couldn't really project.
Right.
And so,
That's a good thing.
yeah, it was close. I can't believe how close I came, but so anyway, I thought you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why you try, right?
You know what? You have to, because you just never know. And I figured, well, you know, and it was a learning experience.
Right.
That's one of the things that people don't realize, you know. And it is very hard to take rejection, you know. But it's a learning process. And that's something that you have to, when you're in this kind of a business, in the entertainment business, you have to realize that you are not going to get every job, and you're not going to, you know, sometimes you have good days and you have bad days.
Right.
So, but anyway, I enjoy it, and I have to say, you really are going to love their sound. Who was your big influence when you were growing up? What groups and?
There's a lot. I listened to a lot of Neil Young as a kid. Still do. Bob Dylan, Elvis Costello, of course the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. So nothing too surprising. More lately, I love Gillian Welch.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about lately.
Yeah, Gillian Welch, the Jayhawks.
Okay.
Tremendous. You know, it's like people are quick to say, "Oh, there's no good music anymore," and I think you just have to work a little bit harder to find it.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I agree with that. How about you, Gary?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that. Well, I used to love, and I still listen to it though. It's such an opposite of, I love country.
Okay.
Some country.
Okay.
I love the country players. I just love that.
Right.
But growing up, it was Frank Zappa and Genesis and Gentle Giant, a lot of progressive bands.
Okay, all right.
But it was also Southern rock. I loved the Allman Brothers and Marshall Tucker and bands like that.
Right.
So that was,
That
a lot
was
of guitar
your-
stuff
yeah.
I used to love.
Oh,
Frank
interesting.
Zappa was a real big one.
Bernie, how about you?
I change from day to day. It could be classical music. It
Okay.
could be
Jeff Beck.
It could
Yeah.
be, it could be
Jeff Beck, okay.
progressive music. Could be, but it changes from day to day.
It changes from day to day, but he puts one album in his car, and
For
that's the
6
same.
months.
Right,
Oh,
and that's the same. We heard the same Jeff Beck album for ages.
that's
Oh, Sting is in there now?
Oh boy.
Okay, interesting. And now, the big question, which is usually, why did you start, like, what, and most people say, the girls. I wanted to. Is it true?
Well, there was that.
That was a fallacy.
Well, it's young.
Work
We're
for
young
some
yet.
of us, right?
No, I just, and it's funny because there wasn't anybody in my family who was
Okay.
like that. You know, it's like my cousin will tease me now and then, like, you know, we Seiferts aren't really like that. You know, we're not outgoing. And I had an uncle, and I still do, and a father who would tease me, like when I was taking clarinet lessons, and they'd say, "Play by the window, we'll help you out," you know. But I don't know. I remember wanting to play guitar for a couple of years before I actually did.
Okay.
And I think it wasn't even, and I think even before I was playing guitar, I was starting to write things that I thought could be songs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been the motivation. It's like I love playing the guitar, I love singing.
Right.
But if you say which are you first, I think of myself as a songwriter first.
Songwriter. Okay.
And as odd as it is, I've probably got about 120 songs now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say for 20, 30 years, I was writing 2 a year, maybe 3
Okay.
a year.
Okay.
But, you know, you do that for a while and it starts to accumulate.
Right.
But more recently, they're coming more like once a month or so, or once every other
Oh, wow.
month, you know?
Okay. All right.
So I think the craft part has gotten to the point where I can take an inspiration and say, okay, now I know what I can do with it, you know?
Right.
I might not have more ideas than I used to, but I think I had more ideas back then that would kind of die on the vine and say, okay, here's, you only get so far with them, you know?
And when you sit down to write a song, now I like we were talking the other day with Tina. She says sometimes I'll write a song in like 10 minutes, and she said, but it took me 6 months before I sat down to actually do it, and then she wrote it. And so when you sit down to write a song, does it usually come very fast to you, or you?
It'll vary, but even the ones that come quickly, I've had a couple lately that have come quickly, but you still kind of like you're putting the dough in the oven. Even once you get all the dough in there, it's gotta.
Sometimes you tweak it.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just reaching a comfort level with the lyric and the phrasing and the vocal, you know.
Okay.
So that's why it helps to just kind of keep playing it, and I torture all my friends. I'll make these demos and I'll send one version, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if the vocal's loud enough. How about this one, you know?
Right.
But you know, I think sometimes, you know, it's rare that you get something that you feel that you're done with, even within a week of having written it. You know?
Okay.
Even though you start sharing it, you know.
Right.
I think, you know, generally I probably have to play and sing something 50 to 100 times before I feel it.
Before you.
The vocal settles in where it should be, or you know where the arrangement should go with the guitar parts. You know.
And when you write, like, for instance, now, you know, the songs you did today, you wrote, and how do you know where you want, like, the chorus to come in, like the girls to come in?
I'm not too, you know, iconoclastic with that. You know, a lot of my stuff is, you know, verse, and then middle eight, you know.
Okay.
And it's funny when Gary doesn't share the stage with us, we generally don't have the solos.
Okay.
And so some of the ones when Gary's come in, we'll put the solo in. The one solo on one song today, Another Shade of Blue. When we first were doing it, there was no solo in it, and then when you have somebody who can play as well as Gary can, you want to make room for that.
Right.
But then the debate becomes, okay, where do we put it?
Right.
And then the next week it's like, where did we put it? Because you want to remember if it was, because I was the one tonight.
Forget really fast.
Right. And you know, it's not going to be before the first verse, and usually there's going to be at least 2 verses before it. So with Another Shade of Blue, do we do the middle 8 first and then the solo, which is how we do it.
Right.
But for a while we were thinking, no, let's do the solo and then the middle 8. So it's a little bit of a tug of war, and you know, and probably to most people listening, it would be the same either way. You know, it's arbitrary.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but you think you're saying, okay, here it's going to have more impact, or it's going to help the flow. You know.
Right. And then I guess it's one that you really just clicks, and you're like, you know what, we really like it.
Right.
This way.
Because like especially with the Campfire Flies, when there's 6 of us in that band, you start talking about how something will sound when you do it, and then I'm always trying to cut through some of the red tape and say, well, how about we just do it? It's a 3-minute song.
Right.
If we play it both ways, then we'll decide, rather than saying theoretically this should go there or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
You trust your ears.
That's interesting. So tell me, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up that I haven't thought to bring up today?
I think we covered a lot, you know. Like I said, we don't always get Gary to play with us. We always call it Ed Seifert in the stimulus package, as long as it's me and Bernie. Most of the time it's me and Bernie and our friend Ray Palecchia on the drums.
I was going to say that because I remembered you mentioning somebody in that email to me. Okay.
And so Gary plays with us whenever he's available. Connie and Kathy have been with us most of the time. That's Connie and Kathy Scherer of the Scherer Sisters. And from time to time we have John Baumgartner, who's also in Speed the Plow, and the Campfire Flies playing accordion with us. It's funny because for something that started out as a trio, we never like to say no when we know people that can, enhance our sound.
Contribute,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It was a sound man's nightmare, you know. And sometimes the sound man is Gary. But yeah, even before Ray played with us, we had our friend Linda Lambiasi playing percussion with us, and she does so many things well. So there's one song in particular called "There's Someone Else." We didn't do that tonight, but when we do that, if she's around, she usually comes up and sings with us.
She was a percussionist for
right. But she wasn't on the show with you. She couldn't make it that
Not here.
Right, that's right. I think I saw her with you at the church.
The church,
right?
yeah.
Yes, very good too. Oh, interesting. Well, we are going to do today, they decided, I usually give my guests either I'm getting the finger over there. No. What do you
Wow. I thought you said it was you who did that.
My
we might not have time for the beanbag.
We're out of time.
Oh, what a letdown.
Boo-hoo.
Well, you can make that its own show, I think. Donna's beanbag competition.
That is too bad. All right. Well, I guess then we're going to say good night to the audience. Thank you for joining me. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Do the wave.
No, the way.
Face the wave.
Oh, that way.
So sorry that I scared you. I'm so sorry that you ran. I wish someone had prepared you for what we now understand. Sometimes the words that hurt are the words that are true, and they can turn you another shade of blue. I don't know why sorry for the